If you're looking to understand how to deliver exceptional IT services, you've come to the right place. In this episode, we're discussing the key concepts of service management. Service management in ITIL 4 presents us with several key concepts. If you want to address real-world service management challenges, it's important to understand these concepts. Whatever your organisation and whatever technology you have underpinning it, these apply to you. But before we start breaking them down, we need to answer one question. What is service management? Service management is a set of specialised organisational capabilities which enable value for customers in the form of services. Service management improves businesses' performance and outcomes through better IT delivery and support practices. But to achieve optimum service management requires an understanding of its key concepts. So, let's get into it. In ITIL 4, the term value is clearly defined as the perceived benefits, usefulness and importance of something. Value is a term that you'll hear a lot in service management, but what's important in defining value is first understanding that it's subjective. Value is subject to the perception of your stakeholders. Now that could be customers or consumers of a service, even part of the service provider's organisation. Where organisations often confuse value is in seeing it as a one-way street. A provider delivers a service and the customer receives value, but there's way more to it. It's important to recognise that consumers or end users play a crucial role in the co-creation of value. You should actively work to define what value means to your users. Seek out mutually beneficial and interactive relationships with your customers. Empower them to be creative collaborators within the service value chain, and you'll reap the rewards. We'll cover value in greater depth later in this video. But let's get into it. Here are the key concepts of service management in ITIL 4. The organisation is a person or a group that has its own functions with responsibilities, authorities and relationships to achieve its objectives. But organisations can be complex. An adventure travel business can be a service provider to travel agents, while at the same time filling the role of service consumer when it purchases things like airport transfers for package holidays. A service provider is a role performed by an organisation in a service relationship to provide services to consumers. And service consumers are exactly that, consumers of services. It's really important that you identify and define these roles within the service relationship, because each may have different and sometimes even conflicting expectations from services. But they might also have different definitions of value. And it doesn't stop there. Beyond the consumer and provider roles, there are lots of other stakeholders that are important to value creation. This could be partners, suppliers, investors, shareholders, even government bodies, and regulatory groups, each with its own definition of value. But you can't have service management without services. And that's what's next. This is where you start configuring resources for value creation. Let's define it first. Services are ways organisations help customers achieve their goals without making them handle the costs and risks. Behind these services are the products, and these are a mix of an organisation's resources. A product is made with specific target consumer groups in mind, and then it's tailored to meet the needs of these groups. But it's not limited to just one group. A piece of software, for example, can be offered as a light version for individual users, or a more comprehensive corporate version for businesses. Now we get into service offering, which we define as one or more services based on one or more products. Service offerings are broad. They could include goods to be supplied to the consumer, access to resources or service actions. But what does this look like in real terms? Well, let's say you procure a mobile phone contract for your business. The goods are the phone itself and a physical server. The resource is the access to the mobile network, while the service actions, that's user support. That takes us on to the next stage, the service relationship model. To create value, you must do more than just provide a service. And a service relationship exists as a cooperation between provider and consumer. In a service relationship, you take on the roles of service providers or service consumers, but the two roles aren't mutually exclusive. Organisations typically provide and consume several services at any time. Enter the service relationship model. The service relationship model links together multiple organisations in a continued cycle of service provision, allowing consumers to become service providers. The parts in the middle are the service relationship. What exists here is a cooperation between the service provider and the service consumer, and this cooperation is where value can be found. And on the subject of value, we move on to the final concept of service management. Service providers help their consumers to achieve outcomes, and in doing so take on some of the associated risks and costs. An output is a tangible or intangible deliverable of an activity. An outcome is the result for stakeholders. The output is the cause, the outcome is the effect. But service relationships can also introduce new risks and costs, which could help some outcomes but hinder others. Think of it as a scale. To create value within a service relationship, removing cost and risk helps the supported outcomes, while adding them negatively impacts the affected outcomes. Service relationships are perceived as valuable when there are more positive effects than negative. When it comes to evaluating those outcomes, we must look at the overall utility and warranty of the service. The utility is what the service does and is used to determine whether a service is fit for purpose. To have utility, a service must either support the performance of the consumer or remove constraints. It can also do both. Warranty assures that a product or service meets agreed requirements set out in relation to service level agreements. A service may be said to provide acceptable warranty if the SLA has been met. Utility and warranty are essential to create value. The best way to show this is a theme park. A theme park is meant to deliver a thrilling experience for its visitors. But if a number of its rides are offline, then the park is not fulfilling its warranty, and its customers are left feeling a lack of value. Equally, if the rides are all up and running, but they're just not thrilling or extreme enough, then the park hasn't fulfilled its utility to provide visitors with the level of excitement they expected. So, there we have it, the key concepts of service management in ITIL 4. We hope you found this video helpful, and we'd love to hear your thoughts and service management experiences in the comments. ITIL 4 can open up a world of opportunity for you. You can start your journey by following the links in the description. And don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell for more helpful ITIL 4 content. Until next time.